Let me ask you another question here. This was sent to CornyDriveThru@gmail.com. For me and not public. They do not want their name read on the air. I would like to ask, as I worked for a UK promotion, the World Association of Wrestling, owned and promoted by Ricky Knight, who you may know is the father of now former WWE star Paige, who several years ago Ricky Knight was telling me and a few other...
Okay, now this sounds like it's worded in an unwieldy fashion, but I will, for the record, submit that, yes, I know the Knight family. Paige obviously is the most famous member, but the Knights and what's her mother's name? Saraya. They've been wrestling over there for quite some time.
Let me try to put this back together into English. And again, the Queen just passed, so I can understand people being upset.
Yeah, it's a tough time for everybody around the world.
Several years ago, Ricky Knight told me and a few other people a story about he and his tag team partner, Jimmy Ocean, collectively known as the Superflies here in the UK, who were known for starting riots by being heels in venues all over the country. Ricky said that you contacted him and Jimmy to come work with the Rock and Roll Express for your promotion, Smoky Mountain Wrestling in the United States.
Oh boy.
As the story continued, it was apparently a done deal, and at the last minute, one of them did not have a valid passport and did not make the trip and flight you apparently paid for. After being a longtime fan of pro wrestling, before becoming a wrestler, and eventually working for WAW, which I no longer do, which is why I'd like to remain anonymous, I've also been a longtime listener to both podcasts featuring yourself and Brian, so I finally decided to ask once and for all. Is it true? Or as we say in England, a load of bollocks?
Well, back the truck up. I got some bollocks for you. I hate this. We don't prep these questions. And I don't want to start a blood feud with another wrestling family in the world, but no. Honestly, I don't know if in 1993 I had any idea who, and this was obviously Ricky Knight Sr., because the son wrestles currently, right? So he's...
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know if I, in 1993, knew this family existed. And I'm not saying that to be mean. That's been quite a while ago. Paige has brought significant attention to him, but as I mentioned, I think her mother wrestled as Sweet Saraya, and that was a name that was on the British wrestling scene, but I didn't know that this guy and had his partner and they had all these riots and a blah, blah, blah. I've never, in the entire history of Smoky Mountain Wrestling, tried to book anybody from England, not because I didn't like anybody from England, but because, well, two things. If you book somebody from England, you got to bring them to fucking Knoxville, and that's expensive. And secondly, goddamn, I had enough trouble getting one fucking Canadian work papers, much less trying to, with Lance Storm. Jericho had dual citizenship. I was not going to open up a can of peas with trying to get a visa for a guy from England. It's a great story to tell your mates on how you almost made it to something somewhere, but no.
All right. Do you think a British heel tag team would have gotten over in East Tennessee?
Well, yeah, actually,
at
depending on who it was.
Yeah.
I remember what George Barnes and Bill Dundee got over like and did here. What this guy said in 1993, okay, 18 years previously in 1975, they got an incredible amount of heat because they had a different style. They had the accents. Barnes especially did a surly interview. Dundee wasn't the big talker back then. It was Barnes. And the way they worked and the way they talked and the accents and the different look, they got immense heat and carried the territory. That was the 6 months they were here was the first 6 months that Lawler had been exiled at that point in time. And they carried the territory for the time they were here until Barnes got homesick. So point being, yes, a team from that part of the world or with a different style, cocky, arrogant heels that could talk, could have got over in East Tennessee. I don't know if that's these guys because I've still yet to this day seen them. So there you go.